All right, it is the 13th grave, and we are live. This is Rex.
And I am Spooks, and you can't see me.
Yeah, I mean, he is a ghost, so you shouldn't be able to see him anyway. But apparently, I went live a little too quickly.
No, you're good. I'm here now. Surprise.
Surprise! All right. So, tonight's episode, we're going to go over the second card of the second deck, and that is going to be this guy right behind me, the mighty Death Pop.
Well, tell me, Rex, who is the mighty Death Pop?
Well, to me, he's quickly becoming a very favorite card because I have been listening to him all week, and then
I
some.
mean, he's. Oh wait, I don't know who the mighty Death Pop. What kind of songs does he have?
Well, there's Knight of the Chainsaw, Chris Benoit, Bazooka Joey. There's a rainbow over the hood, Ghetto Rainbows. Um, there's the Dog Catcher, Shooting Star, uh, Kickin', and I can't
Sounds like
remember.
Minnie Daniels.
Yeah, I I don't remember. Oh, there's also a song about a daisy.
Oh shit, we got flowers too.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So
So who is the mighty Death Pop?
he dead your clock.
Shit.
Who knew the
So
mighty Death Pop?
before we talk about this entity,
Uh-huh.
you should probably roll that beautiful bean footage.
I certainly shall. So let's play the intro. All right. And before we get started or diving too deep, I know you said that we don't have a whole lot of Juggalo news because this is actually probably the fastest we've ever done 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah, and there's just a lot going on in our lives right now. So unfortunately, just not paying attention to a whole lot of it.
Right. But one cool thing for anybody who's watching or gives a rip or whatever, we are going in November to see Mr. Darby O'Trill and Ouija Mac in concert.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited to finally do that shit.
Yes,
And that is on what tour?
the Revelations tour, as I discovered, because I did not know the name of it.
Hell yeah!
Yes, indeed. Whoop whoop.
I'm so fucking excited for that shit.
Yes.
I mean, Ouija Mac has been on my list for a long time, and Darby O'Trill very recent, has been on my top list as well.
Mm. Yes, Darby and his Creek album,
Dude,
Red Stain on a
yeah,
White Robe.
that that album is my album of this year. Like, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
It's fire as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And more love to
Um,
Chapter 17 with Hex. His
yes,
recent song with Shaggy Two Dope. Very
yeah,
much.
that video is fucking fire and has
Mm-hmm.
a very good West Coast vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That song was friggin'
um,
dope. With Shaggy Two Dope.
yes. Also, I know I saw something about the name of the fucking YouTube channel escapes my mind, but Violent J is in an interview talking about his, I guess, personal experiences with him seeing Bigfoot. I think.
Now that's something I need to see.
Right. So there's that. I don't know if it's that or it's just like him just talking about his like fascination with Bigfoot.
Right.
But from the way I understood it, is he's talking about his own experience with Bigfoot.
Hmm. Okay.
Um,
Definitely something I would love to check out because, yeah, Violent J has a very big fascination with Bigfoot.
yes. I can't. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I don't remember if we said this last time, but rest in peace to Pee Wee Herman. I know it's kind of old news now, but if
Mm-hmm.
not, I'd like to say that because he was a big part of my childhood. And
And also to the voice actor who played Dale Gribble.
yeah, rest in peace to him too.
Yeah.
That was pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
And a on rest in peace to Little Tay who faked their death.
Right. And I think the star of this week was a folding chair.
Yes. Shout outs to the Montgomery Brawl. That shit was fucking fire.
Yes.
Beat the fuck out of them crackers.
All I know is everybody was on point with them freaking memes for the folding chairs.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Dude,
I am all for it.
right. Dude. Yeah, he was rocking that AK 47.
That's right.
Uh, also, I guess I should kind of plug this in. I have someone I'm kind of becoming friends with, I think. But anyways, y'all, if you guys like guitar, like just listening to like guitarists, like go out and just jam, kind of like Jimi Hendrix type shit. Y'all should check out this person I've been interacting with recently. Their name is Nate Lavish, and they're just starting out, but their skills are phenomenal, and I guarantee you they're going to be fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
But they have she has a demo out right now called Purple Ooze, and y'all should check that shit out. Like, I guarantee you, like, you're not gonna regret it. It's good shit. It's like shit you can just like vibe out to. Like if you're just chilling, smoking, you need to relax,
Right.
fucking whatever. Like it's good shit. I promise.
Okay. And then I don't have any other news myself. Uh,
um. Yeah. I wish. I'm sure there's more shit, but it's yeah. I don't got nothing either right now.
Okie dokie. Well, as depressing as that is, because I was hoping for more, but that's all right. We will get into the Mighty Death Pop.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say. I feel there's a reason we don't have a lot of news, also because I feel like this is gonna be a long ass video.
this is going to be diving deep, way deeper than either Spooks or I ever thought of. And speaking of spooks, do you have something yellow in the corner behind you glowing?
Over here.
Oh, maybe it's just the lighting on your camera. But yeah, it keeps like flashing. It's weird.
Oh. The only thing I think it's the window,
Mmm. Okay. That might
but I
be it.
shouldn't have anything flashing then.
Okay. But yeah, so this is going to be holy crap levels of in-depthness. Uh,
Yeah.
because we had a big long discussion about this yesterday and a few days ago, and the more and more we
And
looked into it, it's just nutty.
not only not only did it get deep, but it went in all kinds of directions.
Yeah. Just to give you an example, okay, we were researching French royalty, Cleopatra. Uh, what else was there?
Oh shit. It was
Possibilities that we will bring up in the future, but not right now because that is
things
not.
to do with like the Christian religion,
Yes.
uh all kind yeah, dude. It took us all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Possibilities of it maybe having very strong connections with another card, but we won't be able to talk about that in this episode. But in
Right.
the next episode, we most definitely will, because the similarities are like holy fuck to me.
Yes. And so I'm going to bring up a picture of the Mighty Death Pop, and we will. That way, you guys can kind of visualize and follow along. Something that I've never done in any of the other episodes, which probably should have, but that's all right.
Or you can just look at the picture behind his head.
That's true. Mm, where did it go? When your mighty death pops, everything stops. You either rise or drop.
um,
Okay, so I
yeah.
have him up on screen now between us.
So I wanted to ask you real fast.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
What do you like about the Mighty Death Pop? Do you have any reasons besides just the fact that it has good songs?
Okay, so number one thing that I like about the Mighty Death Pop is that he is a lesson. He is a teacher, and he essentially tells you stop playing games with your life.
Mm-hmm.
That is his entire purpose.
Right.
Um, and then after researching, I started liking him a heck of a lot more.
Fair enough.
I mean, I liked it already, like just from the
Yeah.
musicality. Like, okay, I've been quoting songs from this. Okay, my favorite song, and we'll just go over our favorite songs before we dive into the lore of this thing.
Right.
But like, I love Bazooka Joey is my absolute favorite song off this whole thing. It is fucking phenomenal. But if you want my what I think is the actual best song of the entire album, Chris Benoit.
Yeah. I mean, that one's I don't know if you know this, but to some people that's a very controversial song too,
And
because
I
some people don't
totally
think
get it. I totally get why
there's
it would be a controversial song.
yeah, there's some out there that felt that that song was messed up. I don't think that. I mean, I love that song and I get what they were going after with that. And the
Mm-hmm.
video, I I need to watch that video again because I just remember that video just seemed to be so riddled with like imagery, like it was portraying something, but it's something you have. I don't know. You have to pay attention to what is going on.
Right.
Besides the fact that it's just about fucking losing your mind
Mm-hmm.
and snapping.
Yep.
Um,
But then you also
yeah,
have Night of the Chainsaw. You have Ghetto
yeah,
Rainbows is like
yeah.
one of the weirdest, chillest songs ever.
Oh, I
Uh,
love that one.
uh, I love Kickin' because it is just so freaking hilarious. Uh,
Hmm.
I just love the whole album. Like, there's only two real songs that I like. I fucking hate
Kind of
her to
meh.
death, and then
Yeah.
I think Daisies is another one that's just kind of like. I don't fully get it, but at the same time, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, for me, another reason. I mean, this is kind of for me personally, but another reason I love the Mighty Death Pop is that marks the year. That was the same year that I was gifted with my child, Boogie, because she was
Yes.
born the same year that this card was released.
Lots of love for Boogie. Lots of love for
Yeah.
Boogie. Got it.
So yeah, that card always it reminds me of that. And then also like another thing that I was thinking though that I didn't really think about is that was also the year that was notorious for the supposed end of the world to the end of the Mayan calendar.
I was thinking about that too today. Just before
Yeah,
I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, wait a minute. 2012 was when it was all supposed to end.
right.
Well, it is now 11 years later, and
Right.
we're
And
still
here we
here.
are.
So,
on our 11th episode.
right. That's true. That's true.
uh and yeah, other songs though that I love on there was Bully Blaster.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Freaking great song.
on the Ghetto Rainbows song,
Mm-hmm.
that one I don't know if you like cuz like I when I listen to songs I just like visualize shit.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that song, like, I wish they would have made a music video for it, and I wish
Yes.
they would have made it in like the animation for like the old like Rankin and Bass like Christmas movies, like Rudolph and fucking
Where?
those fucking old
Over
movies. Yeah, I just see these like little fucking
there.
stop motion puppets and shit. I think that would be fucking awesome.
Up in
It's
the
just I don't know.
sky, that
There's just
is
something
a
about the like.
rainbow.
There's something about the music itself. It just gives me that vibe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Oh, how could I forget Forever?
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. This album, I mean, already being a follow up to Bang Pow Boom, but just it's chock full with
Well,
so many
it it
songs.
tied it tied in record sales with both Bang Pow Boom and the Amazing Jekyll Brothers.
Which that is something else we are going to discuss. So, yeah, I mean, as an album, it is definitely in my top 10. Maybe top 5 even cuz I fucking
Well,
love it.
top 10 is pretty easy since there's only 11 Joker cards out right now. So,
I mean, of all the ICP. Oh man. Okay, fine. If the cards had their own, then this one's probably like number 3 or 4 for me.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that because this was honestly for the second deck, this was my favorite card up until Yum Yum Bedlam came out.
Yeah. And I remember we belted this in the car everywhere we
Oh
went.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And
Um.
and that's the other good thing about it too, because like I think there's so much creativity that shines through on this album, just like
Oh yeah.
that had to go into it. Um, no two songs really sound the same to me, and
No.
Juggalo Juice, I couldn't forget that one. Rockin' Rye,
Oh.
yup, yup, my faygo, hey,
Right.
precious sauce, Juggalo Juice.
So should we get into it, or do you have anything else to say about it before we?
Well, first we're gonna listen to the album, and then we'll get into it. No I'm kidding. But if you have not heard this album, please, please go and listen to it. It is so friggin' good in my opinion. And even if you're not fans of
Oh,
ICP, there is at least one song that you will love on here.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, but to get into it, oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys are ready. So plug your nose because we're going deep.
Or don't and drown.
And your death will go pop. But anyhow, uh, living on the wild side, just hope it's a long ride. Anyhow, uh, so
Yeah, Rex is probably going to be popping off with lyrics this whole album
I am,
or
but
this whole episode.
yes. So the number one thing that we looked into for the Mighty Death Pop, like we do with all of them, is their release date and what sign that would technically make them born under. And for the Mighty Death Pop, it was released on August 14th, 2012. Oh, excuse me. Which makes him a Leo. Well, it makes it a Leo because we don't know. I think Yum Yum Bedlam's the only one that we can actually confirm.
Yeah, I think it's assumed that most of the Joker cards are male, except for um Yum Yum. The
Okay.
only one, on that kind of thinking, I think maybe nah, because even in that one they refer to it as a male. So yeah, I was gonna say maybe the Wraith because we don't know who
Mm,
the Wraith is under the robe, but they very clearly refer to it as him. So,
okay.
anyways,
That's true. Oh yeah, you keep playing He Will Come. Okay, yeah, that's true.
well,
Anyhow,
that's Mighty Death Pop, but
yes.
like they say, he watches you through the eyes of a crow and blah blah blah. But
Okay.
anyways,
Okay. So, Mighty Death Pop would be a Leo. Uh,
uh,
and then it says here, uh, weaknesses of a Leo because I was looking at their strength, and one of the strengths of a Leo is self confidence. Self confidence comes easily to Leos as well, like their lion symbol, which I did not
right,
connect this before, but I'll get back. I'll circle around to something here in a moment. But uh, like their lion symbol, Leos know they're powerful and commanding, and they aren't afraid to show it. Leos are the type of people who can wear their hair in a crazy new style just because they want to. And within weeks, it becomes the new trend. Leos aren't afraid to like what they like, and they carry themselves with such incredible confidence that they can convince other people to like it too. Because Leos couple their own self confidence with a generous spirit, Leos often tend to be excellent cheerleaders for those around them. Worried about passing a test, your Leo friend is sure going to do great. Have a big competition coming up? Your Leo friend will not only help you practice, they'll convince you that you'll win no matter what. Leo people are always ready to tackle the unknown, ambitious and perseverant. They crave anything that has to do with competition and set high goals for themselves. Those born under this zodiac sign are honest, self motivated, and warm hearted. The biggest strength of any Leo is represented by the fact that they are expansive and innovative, thus making great entrepreneurs and visionaries. Some other Leo qualities are represented by the fact that they are emotionally strong and very progressive. They are visionaries of today and the motivators of tomorrow. Energetic, dependable, and self reliant are all characteristics of a Leo surrounded by the right people who know exactly how to respect and listen to him. So, what are some of the skits in the Mighty Death Pop?
well, right away we get the guy playing stupid from high up. Like I think he's on a building, right?
Yeah, and he's going to jump from one
Yeah,
building to the other.
right.
Yeah. So, self confidence. What always comes before the fall? Pride.
Right.
And what I find hilarious, because we were talking about this, what is a lion also
Oh
known
yeah.
as?
Very pride.
And a
Yeah.
and a king.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna play a key role here a lot, which has got us bringing up questions about this card.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was intended or this is, I don't know. It's very interesting, the stuff we dug up with this.
Yeah. So, anyhow, but one of the weaknesses of the Leo, where was it at? Leos, when at their worst, can become arrogant, self confident. Leos aren't afraid to show that they love and value themselves and are proud of their gifts and abilities. But Leos are also known for being all in people, and when you go all in on yourself, you can become egotistical. Arrogant Leos tend to make everything about them, and they can become dismissive of people who don't share the same goals and determinations that they do. To avoid this, Leos need to make sure they temper their confidence with a healthy dose of humility. Doing this makes sure that you keep your ego in check. In the long run, this will be key to building strong relationships that will support you as you chase your goals.
Yeah, which is again follows under the rule of him saying, don't fuck around with your life
Yeah.
and play games.
Yep. And that's the other thing that I got from this record, because in almost every one of the skits, uh, it's somebody who feels like they're invincible, a pride
Yeah.
and arrogance, that nothing can harm them, and that's why I think that's where the connection with a lot of the songs come from, like Bully Blasta. Like all the guys
Yeah.
that get killed in the song by the Bully Blasta were people who would normally, they're arrogant, they're self-centered, they think they can get away with whatever they want, and then he comes along and
Mhm.
says, "Huh, guess what? Done."
Yeah.
Which I won't quote the song, but I really want to. But yes, because that's the other thing too. Because like the Mighty Death Pop doesn't just come because you're being stupid with your own life, but if you're messing with other people too,
Right.
you could bring about your own demise, because you're messing with them, and in hurting them, you're causing your own death because they're coming to get you. Your own karma is killing you.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason I like, the more I listen to the album and then I connect it with this stuff, it's like it fits. It just fits so perfectly.
Right.
So let's see. Oh, and here it says, one important Leo weakness is intolerance in regard of others or changes not controlled by them. Leo individuals can make their life better if they learn how to be more supportive with the people close to them. A real Leo loves to spend time engaging in any activity that involves a competition and where there's chance to show how great they are at everything. Oh, I forgot this part. They can be rigid and egotistic, as they seem to believe that they are the only ones capable of delivering great ideas and decisions. They are sometimes lazy and reluctant and would dream to be offered everything on a golden plate just because they deserve it.
Yeah.
And I just think of like all the different characters that they talk about in the songs, and
Yeah, they're all represented.
yeah. And I mean, even in uh, Night of the Chainsaw and Bazooka Joey, I mean, technically,
Yeah.
uh,
As the guy running around with a bazooka, pretty careless.
yeah, but he believes he can do whatever he wants because he has that bazooka and nothing bad's going to happen to him.
Hmm.
And then I think about the army guy who's like, I'm going to go over there. And they're like, dude, just stay put. We have backup coming. And he's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to go out there anyway. and
Right. Wasn't there also a skit of a guy like hitting a drug or something?
Yep, he was smurfing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, right,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and and two, what was super popular at the time when this came out? It was Jackass was fucking everywhere. The Jackass guys, the movies.
Yeah, I guess that still was kind of going on, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Probably towards the tail end, wasn't it?
yeah, more so, more or less.
Wasn't that though also
When
the
YouTube was getting
time?
huge.
Right, but was that also when they started pushing that spice shit?
Hmm. It was around that time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was before that though. But yeah,
Yep. And let's just say Spooks and I will never touch that crap ever, ever, ever again.
no, dude. Yeah, that shit freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, I we were almost killed in a riptide together, and that scared us more than that. So if that doesn't tell you
Well,
anything.
I wouldn't go that far because the Riptide shit put me in a where my life flashed before my eyes.
Well, I thought I was gonna
the
die. I
Well, I
really
mean,
do.
I thought I was gonna die too, but I wouldn't say it was as I don't know. It was pretty scary. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was up there. It was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, but then just everybody in the songs, like all of this stuff, like super relates to each other, and I freaking love it, and I am definitely here
Yeah.
for it. And I got a message. Oh, anyway, uh, family, gotta love them.
Right.
But anyhow, but yeah, so everything dealing with this, and we've all felt this invincibility. We've felt like we can do certain things, and especially at a certain age range, more so than others. And that's why I think this album is so super important, because it is a lesson to realize that yes, you may be young, you may be able to do certain things, but it's a perfect reminder that we are finite beings, and if we die early, like,
Right.
and
Well,
I
even beyond, because some people don't even learn and do that shit well into adulthood because they get a crave off of the adrenaline or the attention it gives them.
True. I mean, there was a very famous race car driver, drift race car driver by the name of Ken Block. Very popular. Many people loved him, and rest in peace to him, because he was a good person overall too, from what I understood of
Hmm.
him. But it was because of his daredevil antics. He died riding uh, a snowmobile. He died in a snowmobile accident,
Oh
and
shit.
yeah. And but you're right, and he was in his 50s, but he was still living that dangerous style lifestyle.
Right.
And then I see guys like Tony Hawk, who was huge everywhere, and now I see him walking with a cane, and but he was one of the biggest daredevils of all time in our lifetime. And then you got guys
Hmm.
like Evil Knievel from back in the day, and
Well, I mean, um, this is kind of old news now, but there was that one guy. What the fuck's his name? The guy that did the Fast and the Furious shit.
oh, Doug, not Walker, Paul Walker,
Yeah, didn't he like die from speeding
car
in his car and crashing?
he wasn't driving, but yes, the guy,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and that's the other thing too, which is also a good point, because not only sometimes are you playing games with your own life, but you're playing games with other people's lives as well,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and it's a good reminder to maybe not maybe dissociate, but keep your distance from people like that.
Hmm. At least not get involved in their crazy shit that they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And if you see it, maybe try to stop them. or help them in some way if you can. But yeah,
Well, anyways, I feel like we can go on and on about this kind of.
right.
What's
But
the next part that we got? Oh, sorry, you have something else to say?
so the next thing was we get into the numerology. And if you break down his birthday, which is 8 plus 1 plus 4, so that's 8, 9 plus 4 is 13, plus 2 is 15, 16, 17, 18. 1 plus 8 is 9, which gives us the life path number. And this is what just blows my mind every single time we do these is just how much connection to the universe these actually have. Uh, so here's the life path number 9. I'll just go into it. There's a special kind of magic that follows people born with a 9 life path number. They embody the wisdom of a sage, but not by chance. They have fought their way through many challenges to reach this point and have gained immeasurable strength and awareness along the way. Life path number 9 people will often find themselves in a position of providing support and advice, and this feels natural to them. The knowledge they have gained can be incredibly valuable to others on their own journeys. A person who is born with a life path 9 tends to be spiritual and connects deeply with religion, whether it stems from a need for strength during times of struggle or a natural desire to relate to something greater than themselves. Life path number 9 people often seek courage and meaning from a higher source. Intuitions and gut reactions may even outweigh logic. This connection to the divine gives these people a safety net of confidence as they continue to make their way through life's good times and bad. People with a life path 9 may feel a great devotion to their fellow man. They are humanitarians by nature and use their big hearts to support those who have been made to feel unequal or unworthy. But because 9 life path people have become so accustomed to enduring their own challenges, others may not notice when they are in need, and unfortunately, they have a very difficult time asking for help. People with this life path number must realize that assistance is part of a cycle of give and take, and with as much support as they give, it's their karmic responsibility to receive support in return. He's a sage. He is full of wisdom if you are willing to listen to him. He is
Yeah.
there to offer help if you seek it. If you believe you are going down a dangerous path and you see his wicked face, well, you didn't listen.
Right.
And I find that very fitting because 9 is also one of the last of the single digit numbers and is technically the end. And what is he? The death pop, the end.
Right.
So very fitting for him to have that life path number. And then let's read the definition of the number 9. The energy of the number 9 represents completion, but not finality. Think of it more in a cyclical sense. It's about the ending of one cycle and the potential it creates for another cycle to begin. The 9 in numerology acts as an usher in this process of transition or transformation, guiding and empowering us with its wisdom. It absorbs answers from a spiritual source, then delivers to us in the real world.
Yeah.
So,
The
not the final end because your afterlife is still coming.
right. Just the end of your life here.
Yes. And he is an usher. He is the one bringing you from life into death. So, in that
Or
regard, to the
or
world,
maybe to the yeah.
I just find that so fitting for what he is.
Right.
Um, and then this number is again a humanitarian at heart. It is compassionate, kind, and intent on putting its effort toward creating the greatest good. The 9 is in numerology has gone through its fair share of hardship and is wiser, stronger, and more aware as a result. These firsthand experiences make it especially understanding of others who are struggling and willing to provide valuable support.
Yeah.
So it's not evil. He's not there to
Well, yeah. Well, and to
cause you
all
harm.
technicality, in all technicality, none of the cards are inherently evil.
Right,
They're all lessons and there to guide us.
right. Except, I don't know. Fearless Fred Fury seems like he might be kind of. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He socks you right in the face after he. But anyway, um, no, they are all lessons. But this is just so perfect. Like, he is literally the embodiment of everything. And then the deeper we go, that this is only layer two, people. Only layer two. We're we haven't
Yeah,
even
there's a
gotten.
long way to go.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Like I'm trying to figure out what to even say because I'm trying not to like jump things ahead. I'm like, wait.
right. Okay, so that was the numerology aspect. And it's not even completely done yet because the next thing we looked at, and this is why I wanted to put him on screen here, but if you count the number of points that can be seen around his head, so you have 1, 2, 3 for his beard, then you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if you count the outer pieces of like his jester's crown or jester's cap, whichever way you want to look at it, uh, or even a king's crown, there's 10 points. And then the other thing that we discovered is what is his nose? It is a spiral. And if you take the number 10 in numerology and pair it up, this is what we discovered. So, where is it? I got to go find where I wrote all this right. Okay. So, the numerology of 10. What does it mean if you keep seeing the number 10? Which you also see the number 10 in his hands, which I don't have pictured here, but he's doing the wicked clown, you know, whoop whoop and all that. But he has 5 fingers on each hand, so that's 10. He's got 10 going all the way around. And then I think there was another 10 somewhere that we found, but I can't remember exactly where it was now.
um, I I don't really remember if there was another 10 or not. To be honest with you, I just remember mainly with the spikes.
Right. So with the number 10, it is the number of manifestation. And when you see the number 10, you're being given a highly encouraging sign. You are being urged into a place of radical self-trust. You are being encouraged to have faith in the events that are happening around you. The 0 places you, the 1, within the 0 point field of unlimited potential, magnifying what you are capable of. It's a clear sign that you can achieve whatever you put your intention and action into. But this number also warns of becoming self absorbed and isolated. The number 1 is exacting and sharp, determined and intense, so use this energy to move closer into alignment with your greatest potential, yet not to the detriment of others. Be sure to act in service to the greater good. And what, yeah, so with the number 10 being represented, and
Mm,
uh, you can achieve whatever, so you are full of self confidence. You have the potential to do whatever it is that you put your mind to. Well, if you get too cocky, well, guess what? Hello.
yeah, and yeah,
So,
um,
and I just thought that was so crazy. And then we looked up the spiral, and the spiral in and of itself is another huge symbol. Um,
well, for one, it's like a hypnotizing
it's a hypnotizing
symbol.
symbol, and it's also used in a lot of different religions. The Celts used it. It's been used by the
Yeah,
Mayans and the Aztecs, uh, and it's always about creation. Um, It's also the spiral itself represents the universe as a whole. Uh, it's just nuts.
Right.
So the connection here is essentially like super nutty. Like people that are full of confidence that feel invincible probably feel like they could be or are gods themselves in some ways or another.
Right.
So,
And they're basically in a trance of thinking that they can just do it.
yep. So, yeah, I just thought that was very, very on the nose. uh, stupid joke, I know. I'm sorry.
And playing games with your life and death, like it can, if you know, especially if you're getting that rush from it, it's very hypnotizing, very
Hmm.
uh attractive to your mind, if that makes sense.
Right.
Or it can be.
Yep. And then two, the other thing we looked at with the number 10 was the number 10 and manifestation. Containing the ignition spark of the number 1, the 10 is often used in spiritual circles as a tool to help with manifestation. We talk a lot about finding your life purpose. This number often appears when you're aligning closely with it. It may not be clear or obvious to you, so tune into your feelings and let them guide you. Its appearance in your life is a hugely encouraging sign. Perhaps the number 10 appears on a clock, maybe on a till receipt, license plate, or a calendar. Whenever it pops into your reality, pause what you were thinking of, feeling, or dreaming, and think about what you were thinking of, feeling, or dreaming about at that moment. If you're seeing this repeating number regularly, it could be a sign that your inner vision eye is being opened up. See the contrast of the wide open 0 and the fixed, centered, and precise number 1. The 10 is calling you to deepen into yourself, to meditate, connect with the spiritual, and see where your dreams and your purpose overlap. The number 10 is calling you back to yourself.
Right. That I remember that last part there too. That was the other insane.
Yeah. And like anybody out there watching us, you can say that we're reaching or we're looking for deeper meanings where there isn't one or trying to make connections. But the thing is, this is the universe itself.
And it seems like like it could be coincidence, but it seems, and you might see as we go on more with this one specific, it's too coincidental how many things align with this.
I mean, it's literally drawn into him. Like
Yeah.
every little
Whether
point.
they're doing it,
Hmm.
whether they're doing like whether ICP is making these designs on purpose or however they decide these designs, it's being manifested into the universe, and it yeah. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like they are manifested.
Right. So, yeah,
Like
the
yeah,
connections are
I
just
don't.
too great,
I
too
would
good.
like to know what they like, what their process is with coming up with the designs. Like if they like talk it out, or if they just, if Jay is getting visions, like like he said when he had the dream of the Dark Carnival in the very beginning. Like I don't know how they, but I would like to know. Because some of this stuff, it's almost like they have to know. It's so crazy how on point some of the shit is.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. So, yeah, so that's the number 10, and that's just the outside. Then we looked at the number of teeth that are showing, and there are 21 teeth. Well, 2 and 1 break down to 3. And the number 3 has a tendency to thrive in an upbeat and engaging atmosphere. Its energy is youthful and positive, and it has an incredible zest for life. It dances from one enjoyable experience to the next, eager to interact with others along the way. The prize skill of the number three is communication, and it uses this talent to build a wide and interesting circle of friends, lovers, and kindred spirits. The three is highly original and embraces unique thinking and creative expression. This number's artistic, curious nature allows it to convey abstract ideas and find solutions others may miss. A child at heart, the number three never misses a chance to have fun, engage with others, and express all the love and joy it embodies. I mean, all of the skits, well, except for maybe the military one, but they're interacting with friends, they're at a party, they're trying to impress people, they are, uh,
Well, I mean, even with the military guy, I mean, when you're in the army, those are your brothers. You know,
mm-hmm,
those are your and he's trying to be like the big shot and
that's true,
impress and be the
mm-hmm, and embraces unique thinking and creative expression. Well, there are many artists out there who have died for their creative expression,
right.
and
Well, and that creative expression isn't always good. Like sometimes it can lead you down a dark path,
yep,
or end up killing you. There are reasons certain things are not considered good.
yep. One guy that comes to mind for me is David Blaine and all of his like different magic tricks and stuff that he's
Oh
done.
yeah, he's definitely one that has played with his life quite a few times.
Yeah, like his little underwater experiment in a box for like however long it was without eating and
Yeah.
drinking and all kinds of stuff. I mean, technically, but he's still playing with his life. I mean, even if he doesn't matter
Well,
how prepared you are, you're still doing something dangerous.
I mean, despite what these guys are doing this for, whether it be for good intent or not, but look at people like Steve Irwin and shit that fuck around with dangerous animals,
Oh yeah.
or that guy that plays with he'll have like the world's like venomous and poisonous creatures like sting and bite him and shit.
Mm. Yep.
Like he could very easily just die from that shit. Some of that shit
Yep. And then yeah.
brings us to something else we're going to be talking about. But anyway,
Yeah. So, uh but yeah, so and the creativity and everything, yeah, I just it's just nutty, so nutty. And then there's the artistic element, the color, the music, the creation, anything that engages the senses has the number three written all over it. It realizes the written and spoken word can only take us so far. Words can communicate ideas, but to express our feelings, we need the unparalleled power of art. Charming, the number three has an easy time attracting other people with its magnetic personality, its lighthearted demeanor, and ability to communicate well combine to create a natural charisma that gets and keeps others' attention without even trying. The three in numerology is the apple of everyone's eye. It entices people, it brings people
mhm.
in. Oh, hey, this dangerous thing isn't that bad. Have you ever had
Yeah,
people? I mean, that's literally peer pressure. How many times have you been with friends and done something you would have never normally done because you're around
right.
a bunch of other people? Mob mentalities, too. Uh,
Yeah,
same thing. It's just, yeah. I just, like I said, it just blows my mind. And there's 21 teeth. That's that could be coincidence, but it's there.
it's still there. Yeah, like you can't deny it not existing.
Yeah. It's encoded into him. So, yeah, I find that freaking hilarious and awesome all at the same time. But then you go on to the weaknesses of the number 3. Naive. The young and innocent nature of the number 3 in numerology makes it very unaware of the realities of the world because it hasn't had any experience to develop this mature wisdom. It is susceptible to making poor decisions, putting itself in bad situations, and getting burned by others. Unfocused, this number suffers from shiny object syndrome. It is excited by everything it sees and won't spend much time looking in one direction before shifting focus elsewhere. It is so full of enthusiastic energy that it just wants to live and love and laugh and create, which means real life goals and progress fall by the wayside. It's shallow. The number three in numerology prefers to live on the surface of life and relationships. To go deeper would mean opening itself to potential negativity and having to relate feelings and situations that it doesn't have much experience with. This number puts pleasure before growth. If it isn't lighthearted and enjoyable, the three would rather not participate at all. That's the death pop.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we been faced with situations that we didn't want to face and it comes back to bite us because we're like, nah, that's no fun. Why would I want to do that? You spent money, you put something somewhere that you weren't supposed to, or energy into something that you weren't supposed to, and it came back to hurt you in some way or another. I mean, it's just a great life lesson, and I find it crazy that the three relates back to the nine because here it's talking about it's immature, doesn't have wisdom, and isn't and is more about life and enjoyment. But then you come back to the nine, and the nine is a teacher. It's a sage. It's somebody who has gathered wisdom. It's the end.
Right.
So you put those two things together, and him being the mighty death pop, the big blackout, the end of all of your senses, like
Right.
it, it's basically like, hey, remember all those other things you should have paid attention to? Well, here I am.
Right. All leads up to your end.
And the other thing I find weird about it is too, or not weird, but that could be connected is like him being a sage. What was he like before he became the mighty death pop? Or is that
Or I mean, he could be just that in general.
exactly? That's true. Yeah, I don't know why I put it in those terms, but like he loves he dead your clock. He's ready to take you to the other side. Yes. This is your life. Better respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah. And that's just the numerology bit. Wait till you see some of the other stuff we come up with or that we came up
Yeah.
with. So that finally is the numerology bit. Uh, but there was so much there that we just had to go into all of it. Uh,
Right.
the next thing we looked at, and I forgot to write these down, but I will pull it back up. Uh, oh no, I got it right here. We discovered that he has different colors. Not really discovered, but he has four very distinct colors. He's got red, purple, yellow, and white.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and black, of course. But uh, the other thing that he has very much symbolized in him is symbols of death. One being the cross
Yep.
in his beard, which is well. Let's discuss the other parts because I'm skipping ahead here. But but we went with the colors, and his color purple. It says purple has the balance of red stimulation and blue's calming properties. It is traditionally associated with royalty, majesty, and nobility, as well as having a spiritual or mysterious quality. Darker shades often represent luxury or opulence, while lighter shades are quite feminine, sentimental, and even nostalgic. This is what was crazy, okay? And this is what I was
Yeah.
talking about before. So, a Leo is a lion, and lions are considered kings, and he has purple, which is very much associated with royalty.
Yep.
And we'll move on to yellow real quick. We'll discuss that next part. But The royalty aspect is definitely something that we wanted to look into much deeper.
Yeah, and there's more too
Yeah.
with
Uh,
that still.
hmm Yellow being the most visible color from a distance, it is often used as a cautionary color. The color of sunshine and flowers, yellow is optimistic, playful, and happy. It can also be associated with mental clarity and intellect. Well, we already discussed the number three being happy, full of joy, and no wisdom, so the fact that it's incorporated into his color scheme, and then you have
Yeah,
purple being royalty and his sign being a lion, it's like there's connections upon connections here,
and there's still more.
and there's still more. uh, let's see. Oh, I skipped a whole thing. Yellow comes in a variety of colors, from sunshine yellow to golden yellow, and works well with its complementary color, purple. Bright yellow can be used as a pop of color for highlight or accent. A pop of color. I just thought that was very strange that they put it in there like that, considering we're
Right.
talking about the mighty death pop. But anyway, then we move on to the color white. Throughout much of history, white has been elected as a symbol of goodness, spirituality, purity, godliness, and sacredness. Ancient Egyptian gods, Greek gods, Roman goddesses were all depicted as clad in white to symbolize their deity. White is considered the symbolic opposite of black, with the two colors. In Western cultures, white is the classic color of wedding dresses, symbolizing innocence and purity, whereas in many Asian cultures, white is the color of mourning, grief, and loss.
Yep.
So
There's your death.
there's your death. And the fact that it's his skull showing. So, yeah, that
Well, the skull is after he explodes.
right. And then you have red. Red is a rich color with an even richer history. Use of the pigment can be traced all the way back to ancient Egypt, where it was considered both a color of vitality and celebration, as well as evil and destruction. From here on, red was a staple hue throughout history, used in ancient Grecian murals, in Byzantine clothing to signal status and wealth, and heavily applied throughout art movements ranging from the Renaissance through to modern day art.
You know, I didn't think about it, but that talk of wealth, what are kings?
Exactly. Kings are wealthy.
I didn't even put that piece in there, but yeah.
Yeah. So before we talk about the other stuff, now we can actually put more of this together. We think the Mighty Death Pop is either some kind of king or a very
Some
high,
hierarchy.
yeah, very some kind of high status within the
We,
realm of the Joker cards.
we still even technically haven't even covered everything for that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've already seen a lion. We've already seen the purple and gold being associated with
Hmm.
royalty, red now with wealth. I mean, there is something going on, and maybe it could be his wealth of knowledge. Maybe it could be that it's just weird how so much of royalty, and this is the next point that I'm going to now cover. Look at his chin, his beard more specifically, and on
Yes.
it, oh, you can't really see it in the poster, but in the
Do you have it on the picture that you
yeah,
pulled up?
yeah, on the picture, if you look at it upside down, one thing we realized is that it is a fleur-de-lis. And what the fleur-de-lis is a French royalty symbol. It's
Hmm.
in a bunch of their coats of arms. It's heavily associated with things in like New Orleans. Uh, it's the other thing is, and this is Spooks who found this. If you are giving a fleur-de-lis, where is it at?
It's
And
the purple fleur de lis.
yeah, if you are giving a purple fleur-de-lis It symbolizes leadership and help given to others. His is literally purple because of his beard.
Yeah, and kings is another thing that you can look at as a form of leadership.
Yeah.
And what was that? What was it? Help given to others. He helps you try to live life, or warn you of potentially throwing your life away. And
Yeah, and not playing games with it.
right.
And uh
Also, and then are you covering the other part? What are you talking about next? Sorry, I might be jumping the gun.
no, we're still talking about the Fleur-De-Lis, and this is what
Oh,
we uncovered
so go
here.
on.
It says, with many uses of the Fleur-De-Lis, it is hard to find a single meaning for the symbol itself. The main associations of the symbol come from the lily, a flower, and anything connected with triplicities. The number three again.
Hmm.
The symbol has been associated with royalty, peace, war, politics, sports, religion, and it is believed to symbolize purity, light, perfection, life, the Holy Trinity, the natural world, beauty, and sophistication. The fleur de lis can be found in ancient art, architecture, fashion, jewelry, and sports. It's always been known as a decorative element, which is part of the reason why it is a popular symbol in jewelry. Especially in vintage inspired pieces in New Orleans, the fleur de lis has become a popular tattoo, especially since Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, so many things. And again, royalty. What was the other thing? It said,
The Holy Trinity, the natural
yeah,
world.
which funny enough, that's something that also is associated with the Holy Trinity has a cross in it,
Yes.
which also, I don't really like going too big into like Christianity stuff, but that brings up the King of Kings.
Yes.
Like it's just insane. Like yeah, I never really thought of there being some kind of weird hierarchy with the cards, but
Yeah.
it's just very weird how much royalty and like leadership he has in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I don't remember if you have this down, but the other thing that is crazy about the Fleur-de-Lis that it is also associated with is Cleopatra.
Yes. That's right.
And what's interesting about that is kind of like earlier, I was talking about people that play around with deadly animals and, playing with
Yes.
their lives. The common belief of how she died was she committed suicide with a venomous cobra.
Yes. Yeah. One of the big stories about Cleopatra, because she was trying to gain the trust of somebody, if I remember correctly, in one of the stories, is she would stick her hand in a jar with a poisonous snake of some kind. I'm guessing of cobra, then, since that's what you said. A venomous
Well,
cobra.
this was intentional though. Her
Oh,
death, it was a suicide.
oh. Well, in the stories, like that I've
Right,
seen, yeah, to gain trust with people, she would stick her hand in the pot and be like, "See, the snake trusts me, so should you, because if it didn't, it
right,
would bite me." And that's playing a game all in
right.
a.
Yeah, she played games with life all the time. But
Hmm.
yeah, and just the fact that it's associated with somebody who is a prime example of what the card is talking about is wild.
Yes.
Because I have not found that in any of these cards before, and I don't like. It just makes me want to go through everything again because I
Right.
feel like we could be missing so much shit. It just, I never would have thought of that.
No, not in a million years would I have ever thought that either before we started doing this.
Right.
But it freaking blew my wig off when Spooks brought that to my attention. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Right. And
So,
what? Sorry, go on.
oh, so you have that connection. And then we looked at diamonds because he has diamonds in his hat, four pointed diamonds. What are
Yeah.
diamonds associated with? More royalty.
Now we're not. I will say we weren't entirely sure if these are diamonds. They just look like diamonds to us.
Right.
But if there's something else, you can tell us what you think they're supposed to be. But we think they're diamonds. But anyway, you can tell them what we got from that.
Um, I'm trying to remember, where did I put it? If I can find
I
it.
know that it's like a symbolization of like what was it? Not immortality, but like strength because a diamond is very hard to crack.
Right. That's right. Okay. So I didn't write it down, unfortunately, but yes, diamonds are extremely hard. They are hard to shape. They're hard to cut. They're all kinds of things. But they are a symbol of invincibility. Whenever you talk about somebody being harder than diamond, um,
Right.
uh, and
And
that
I
is
and
not
I think that
a joke about peepees, but uh,
but I think it also falls into the idea of representing people thinking they're immortal and playing these life or death games
right, because if you
until you
know,
find that right spot in the diamond to crack it, and then it shatters. And that's all it takes is that one time fuck up in these games, and then you're gone.
yep, once somebody finds your weak point, you're done. That's it. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's a very human mentality to think that we can be invincible, that nothing can bring us down, that we're unshakable, we're rocks. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, and that's what we uh, went with. Why we went with diamonds, because it is a very diamond-like shape. Um, and then the other crazy thing that we found is we went into the star over his left eye. Um,
Yeah.
it
The
is a
four-pointed star.
yes. And where was the number 4 at? So back to numerology. I thought we were done with numerology, but we're not. Um, but the four-pointed star means a clear observation and instructs your mind to always learn to see things from a wider perspective. The four-pointed star represents the cardinal points of the universe. It helps you to understand that the world is bigger than your ideas and perceptions. Therefore, you should learn to embrace other people's ideologies. Doing this will help you to learn and become wiser. Furthermore, it will enhance your ability to make sound judgments that are not biased or prejudiced.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
the fact that it's a literal uh, from a wider perspective. It's the 4 points of the universe, the cardinal points. And something else
Mm-hmm.
that Spooks pointed out to me last night that I forgot to write down, but I remember, is that we also looked at the Fleur-De-Lis symbol, and he found that, or uh, that Boy Scouts, one of the leaders of the Boy Scouts or somebody, would take the Fleur-De-Lis and use it in a compass.
Yeah, and lead the way.
Yeah. And so I thought that was very weird that it ties into the four-pointed star over his eye.
Right. And what was the meaning behind the four-pointed star again?
It helps you to understand that the world is bigger than your ideas and perceptions. Therefore, you should learn to embrace other people's ideologies. Doing this will help you to learn and become wiser. Furthermore, it will enhance your ability to make sound judgments that are not biased or prejudiced. Ability to make sound judgments.
Yeah.
Again, not playing games with your life.
Exactly.
Learning from others' mistakes. And what is he? Again, the number 9, a sage, a teacher, somebody to direct you and tell you what to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah. That's why it's really hard for me to believe that it's just all coincidence.
Yes, exactly.
There's just too much.
Yeah. And if you and this is the obligatory YouTube spot, but if you agree with what we're saying, comment. If you don't agree, also comment and leave us a
Yeah.
like and a subscription. That would be great. Um,
Um. Do you have or no? We're still not done with it yet, are we?
no, I'm just taking a small break to say that to remind myself that we got to do that.
Oh no, you're good.
But
I was
yeah,
just remembering that we forgot some things. But yeah.
but then you go to the cross in his beard, and the cross, what it ultimately boils down to is atonement to make things right.
Right.
And it's also very much a symbol of death and what it's
Right.
associated with. And something I did not think about, but the song Daisies were also very much prominently associated with death at one time because of the Black Plague. And that
Right.
song, Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Posies. Well, a posy was a daisy.
Right. Well, and another thing too that I didn't really think about till just now, but the fact that they have a cross. Sorry, it's something in my fucking eye.
Mm,
Uh, but there's a cross on the album that has the song "Where's God?" questioning why he, if this God or creator exists, why does he allow all this fucked shit to go on?
right.
And in the music video, throughout it, they're carrying a cross.
Yes. Oh, I
So
was wrong.
I'm very much sure that that cross is intended on there for. Anyways, what are you wrong about?
Oh, posies are not daisies, but um, I do find it crazy though that the song Daisies is all about our will to survive, and uh
Mm-hmm.
I seen that shit and it's amazing. That's the lyrics, and he's just like basically talking about how no matter how fucked up life gets, we're still willing to continue on and
Right.
our will to survive.
Um.
But yes, back to the cross, and yes, where's God?
Right. Um. And I remember there was stuff that we were talking about with his hands too.
Yeah, the WC, the number 40, which again is a
Oh
number
yeah.
4 in numerology, which again going back to the four-pointed star.
Right. That's what it was.
Yes. Yeah, it's just so
And
nutty.
then when he's blown up, the picture of him blown up with the skull.
And he has the evil eye, the evil red eye.
Yeah.
And I forgot to write it down, but what I found is that the evil red eye is used to in many cultures to protect against curses. Uh and it's used in like a ton of different cultures across the world. Africa uses it, Asian cultures use it. Um
Isn't
Middle
it also used to give curses too?
I think so. I'd have to look it up again, but yeah, it's so nutty how much let's see, the evil red eye. There it is. And this was found from journeysoflife.com. The red evil eye is a symbol with a lot of history behind it that has drawn in many people over the year. The symbol itself can be found throughout history in a variety of cultures and religion, with the earliest examples being found in 8th century BC and 5th century AD. In the years since, it has grown and spread around the globe. The Greeks were one of the first to utilize the red evil eye symbol in their culture, and it continues to be popular in Greece as well as in the Middle East, Asia, Africa, and parts of Central America, and more recently found in North America as well. Which is crazy because Greece, again, tying back to Cleopatra, that was Romans and the Greeks. But again, Cleopatra and evil symbols and stuff like that. So
Right.
super nutty. To understand where the evil eye, red evil, one must consider its general meaning. Basically, the symbol of the eye is meant to offer protection against a curse of some sort. In many cultures, the curse comes from a malicious look that is cast from one person to another, whether that be done intentionally or unintentionally. So you're looking at somebody evilly. You want them to be hurt in some way.
Right.
When someone is the recipient of an evil eye curse, it is believed to be able to cause them health problems and other forms of bad luck. Misfortune often follows them around until the curse is somehow removed.
Which is, to me, that's that pop.
Right.
He's cursed you for that when you're playing these life games,
Yeah.
and then it's
It's game over because you didn't want to learn.
yeah.
The red evil eye is often used as a talisman that is worn or strategically placed to protect people from curses and negative energies that might attack them. So he could also be protecting himself from your evil
Mm-hmm.
in a way. I could
Or he could also it could also be a representation that maybe he uses that to protect you when you're living down that life where you're not throwing your life away.
That's true. Like when if you've been saved from death.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That is an aspect that I did not consider at the time.
Right, me neither. I just thought about that.
Yeah. Well, and two, the other thing about the Mighty Death Pop that no other card has, he was featured on a bomb.
Right.
And
Which is weird because you would think Bing Pao Boom would,
right,
if any of them were to have that.
yeah, my guy didn't get that, but the Mighty Death Pop did. So I guess he's just better. No I'm kidding.
Um.
He
So
didn't get that, but anyway.
what did we get for the skull?
So the skull is used very much as a death ritual. Um, again, I thought I had this written down, but I will pull it up real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I know obviously they use it a lot in symbolizations for death, but I feel like there was more.
Yeah. Skull symbolism, six top meanings: death and danger. Skulls have historically been very closely tied to Aztec culture. To this day, Mexicans celebrate Dia de los Muertos, a celebration and commemoration of dead relatives, and skulls are a prominent feature. Uh, First, death. The most dominant thing that the skull symbolizes is death. It is for this reason that a skull symbol will be displayed on a warning sign indicating that death is possible if the sign is ignored. Hmm. What does that remind us of? Any takers? Uh, it serves as a reminder that death will come to all of us one day. Despite the fact that a skull is simply a portion of a complete skeleton, it brings with it the idea of death wherever it is viewed. This knowledge causes us to reflect on our own mortality from time to time. Thus, it reminds us not only of death, but also, where is it? Also, about life and how we should live our lives. For some, seeing the skull therefore helps us to realign our priorities in order to make the most of our lives. And he's a
Yeah.
wise sage and he's a teacher.
Yeah. It's wild. I don't
Then
even know how to like. Sorry,
process
is
it
there
all.
more?
Oh, yeah. So then you have the warning of danger. Most people will pause whenever they see it for the first time. Going down a path with a skull sign at the start would be a bad idea. Some people believe you can avoid danger by wearing a skull pendant when you're in the spiritual realm. You can, for example, wear skull jewelry to ward off negative energy either actively or passively. It certainly keeps us on our toes as we progress through life and is an appropriate symbol for protection, whether it's for you or others. And then, yeah, it's also a symbol of courage and wisdom. They are
There's the
people,
wisdom.
yep. And then courage. They're people who don't fear death.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how to make it any more clear, but yeah, this card has just been super eye
Wild.
opening. Yeah. And
And yeah, like I want to know if we can meet ICP at the gathering next year. I really want to ask about the hierarchy thing, at least with him, because there's just so much indicating him being some kind of higher authority.
right.
And I want you, anybody that watches this, like, I want you to really think about all that stuff, like, and tell me what you think, because, like, it's just a perspective I've never thought about, and yeah, I know, yes, they're all just albums that were created by ICP to a lot of people, but, like, I think I honestly feel there's a spiritual side to this, and I feel like there's this. I just feel like we've just came on to something that people have not. I don't know. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's
Well,
weird to me.
well, because like again, and I'll bring up the Jekyll brothers because I put them prominently on our overlay here. But the Jekyll brothers are jugglers. They're an act that performs in the court. Uh, at least
Right.
that's their
Uh,
role. Um,
sure. Outside of like what they're, I get what you're saying.
right. And then you have the ringmaster who directs the show, and then you have
Yeah.
the great Malenko who's doing magic tricks and
He's like
stuff
the
like.
magician. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like okay, and this was just not an aspect we had ever thought of before at all. They were just cards,
Right.
and they all
And I
had their
want
own meaning and stuff.
And there's
Obviously.
another aspect that I won't be able to bring up too much because we haven't covered the card yet, but we will soonish. It's not the next card we're covering.
Hmm.
Because the next card we're covering is Bang Pow Boom. However, the
After
next card
that,
after that is the Wraith. And I just want you to look at the image of the Mighty Death Pop, like the full image with his hands and everything.
hmm,
And look at it side by side with pictures of the Wraith and look at the parallels. There's this, I'm telling you, there's something there.
yep. Yeah.
And
Uh, I can't say nothing. I can't say anything.
I know,
I want to so bad.
I know. Ever since I was pointed out, like, that's just been, like, stuck in my brain now. Like, there has to be. Anyways, yeah.
Yes. Uh, but the more and more we looked into the Mighty Death Pop, he's royalty. He's associated with a ton of royalty. In a lot of his symbolism. Uh, you have diamonds. You have purple. You have. I mean, and what's another term for yellow? Gold. Um,
Hmm.
uh,
He's very associated with guidance
various.
and
Yes.
showing you the right path versus the other side of him, which is representing throwing your life and playing games.
Yes.
she has strong ties to.
Hmm.
Some of that royalty that he's tied to has that tied into it. Like,
Yes. He is a very big collection of things. And then he has the four-pointed star, and his nose is the spiral, which is also
yeah.
associated with creation, the universe, the ability to uh, have limitless potential. Uh, yeah, there's just a lot going on with him that
Hmm.
the more and more we looked, we were just like, what? What? What?
Fucking wild. How long has this been our live been going?
I will look because I don't know. I know it's been at least an hour though. Let's see. We started streaming. Um, um, oh, it just says an hour ago, so only an hour.
Well, then we did a lot better than I thought we were going to do.
Well, I think without any distractions, that kind of helped tonight, but I kind of wish those distractions were there.
Yeah.
Please come join us, Scavenger. We miss you. Um,
Yes, we do.
same
Miss
same to you,
everybody we have.
Sonny.
Connie. Yeah.
Um, but anyway, no. There's something going on with Mr. Mighty Death Pop that is way beyond anything that we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I did not expect to have that much at all.
Yeah. Well, and then I think about Mighty Death Pop, the album itself, and just some of the songs, and there's some deep stuff in there. There really
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
I mean, you have the song Chris Benoit, which is very controversial, as you said, from because a lot of people didn't think that ICP should have made that song and that they should have
Right.
used somebody else as the reason for losing control. Um,
Well, the
then
whole thing with Crispin was very controversial,
yeah,
and they felt like giving him any attention like that is just disrespectful. I think to like his family and
right. And I don't disagree entirely with that, but at the same time, he was a very, very important figure.
right. I think it's a great example of somebody that was very well known and very well respected amongst that community.
Hmm.
Who even those closest to him never saw anything wrong with him, and then just one day, snap.
Yep. Yeah. And without going into the story, if you don't know, look up the history of Chris Benoit. It is
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was considered one of the best wrestlers of his time.
Yep. And all respect to his family, 100%. And I am not
Yeah.
saying that he was.
What happened to them was definitely a travesty and horrible, and it should never happen to anybody.
No, not at all. And yeah, but anyhow, without getting too deep in the weeds there, because yeah, there's a lot that can be
Yeah.
said. So
Definitely.
I will be very, very careful. But yeah. Anyway,
So our next episode will be when?
so since we already talked about it last episode, I will be moving back to the Pacific Northwest.
Woohoo!
Yes, out of here from North Dakota, and when I get back, we are planning on doing an episode. I don't know exactly what day. I'm leaving on the 21st. So I'll be there on the 22nd. So it'll be
Hmm.
between the 22nd and the 27th or 8th.
Okay.
So within that time frame.
And we will be discussing
Bang, pow, boom.
which is your
Card.
favorite card.
Which, and do not get me wrong, I have not lost any love for this man right here. I am a bang pow boomer for life. Because
How boomer. Oh god.
I didn't even think about that. No.
You said it, not me.
I
Uh,
didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that.
we we're kind of hitting that boomer stage, maybe. I don't know. But
Well,
anyways,
I did make one of the worst dad jokes I possibly could have. Um,
uh, but I was gonna say, not only is that your favorite card, but there's a lot of special, kind of like with I think almost every card I can mark something special about it with our life, or at least my life. But
mhm.
like like with Mighty Death Hop, I had stated, that was the year Athena was born. Um, my brother was born the same year as the Carnival of Carnage. Uh, Riddlebox was the year that I had discovered ICP in the Dark Carnival.
Right.
Like, and for you, this marks the. And then Jekyll Brothers and Wraith. Well, more Wraith, but Jekyll Brothers. So Jekyll Brothers was the first time fully diving into ICP. And Wraith would mark when I fully became a full-on Juggalo.
And that's where I put Bang Pow Boom because like
Right, I was gonna say
technically,
that mark. Yeah,
yeah, because technically I knew about ICP from Great Malenko and
right,
that era, but I would have never considered myself a Juggalo before then. And then
right.
we listened to Jekyll Brothers a lot, and I fucking love the Jekyll Brothers. I
Yeah.
absolutely, again, Bang Pow Boom is my card, but the Jekyll Brothers will always hold such a special place in my heart. I will always probably consider that my number one favorite album of all the Jekyll Brothers, or of all the all the.
Of all the Jekyll
I
brothers.
meant the Joker's cards.
I mean, it's probably my favorite of all the Jekyll brothers too.
Well, which one would it be, Jake or Jack? Just kidding.
But
Yeah.
no, I feel what you're saying, and also like with Bang Pow Boom, that also marks the first time we ever actually got to experience a live ICP concert.
Yes, and there was just a ton, and I do mean a ton that surrounds that.
Yeah,
There was our little family that we had. We had our own little gatherings that we went to. Uh,
yeah, we should probably save a lot of that for that episode.
and
But
we are going to. But
yeah,
I,
but yeah, you're right. There's a lot surrounding that.
mhm. And so that's why I think it's a great episode for us to do together for the first time. We'll both be
Right.
live in the same spot, holding it down for the 13th grave. And
At the 13th grave plot.
that's right. And maybe I can pull up some photos and yeah, we'll discuss all that next time. But
And I don't know. I'll have to talk to you, but we might have another surprise too. Maybe.
right. I think I know what
But
you're
I will
thinking.
talk to you after the episode.
Yes. But overall, no, the Mighty Death Pop is an extremely, and I do mean I think 100% extremely important album. If you have not listened to it, you need to. He is
Yeah.
it, like there aren't many ICP albums that I can go cover to cover with almost every single song, and this is one of them. I mean, I love this album.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, even Spooks was like, "Oh, is the Mighty Death Pop your card now?"
No, but for real though, like there's so many bangers on that album, like
Yeah,
from beginning to almost end.
yeah. I mean, if you haven't heard Kickin' for just them clowning around being funny, one of the best songs ever. I love
Oh yeah.
Kickin'. Then there's Juggalo Juice. And I just love how it starts because it's like grape soda, rock
Or
and rye,
yeah.
60/40. Yep, yep,
Or
my faygo. Hey.
the song Clownin'.
Yep, when I'm clowning, everything's a joke. That angel's wings are broke. I get illy, snatch out your icy grilly. um,
But yeah. Oh, and then what was it? Is it Scream? Is that the name of the one that had Tech and
Hobson.
Hobson?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Like what the fuck? Like a wild banshee scream. Yeah. And Bully Blasta has my favorite Shaggy ad lib ever with that
Yeah, that
explosions. I did it with a straight blade razor and my Bully Blaster behavior.
this is now the point of the episode where where Rex gets it all out of his system.
Yes, it is the end. We have discussed the important stuff, and now I'm just going to jam out in my head to every song that I memorized, which practically all of them. And oh man, but no, it was, and all the skits were freaking great too, because there was the one with
Oh man.
he's just like, "No, Jeff, that looks really far." He's like, "Nah, I could fucking do it. Watch me fly, bitch." Yeah, the death pop, like, uh,
Right?
yeah, and then I loved his opening card, the intro song to him, obviously, because
Oh yeah.
yeah, he
Ooh.
he dead your clock. Who knew? The mighty death pop. And I love the little synthesized voice going, "Are you reckless? Better expect him. This is your life. Better respect it."
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. Which I think you said was who? Uh,
Oh, so I could be so I want to believe that the little that voice that pops up in a lot of ICP songs and on the cards is Willie B. Rags,
okay, that's right.
but I've heard some people say that it's the Carnival of Carnage.
Ah,
Um, I don't really know how true that is. I kind of think I am inclined to believe that it is Willie B. Rags because I think it's, if I remember right, in one of the songs or skits, it's stated that is his name. But anyways, yeah.
okay. But yeah, no. But then there's the next song too, where he's like, "Party, it's what you choose. Wild and wicked, you abuse. Well, fuck it." Because it's like,
Yeah.
when your mighty death pop, you either rise or drop. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a wild ride. Just hope it's a long ride. When your mighty death pop, pop, everything stop. You either rise or drop. Living on. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, it's just such a good, important album. There's so much more meaning to him than I ever thought possible. Just reading through all of that stuff was a blast. Ha. Anyway, uh, but yeah, no, and so I definitely recommend checking out this album. And with all of
Do you
that,
though?
I don't have anything else that I really want to say because otherwise it'll just be another hour of me wanting to play the album for y'all and singing along to it. and it'll be Rex's
Yeah,
sing along hour, and I don't think anybody wants that.
yeah, I can't think of anything myself.
All right. Well, with all that, then, thank you very much for watching this episode of The 13th Grave. And with all that, whoop whoop.